So I'm here talking today with Brady Hillegas, and we're talking about his plans to go to college and graduate from college debt-free, and how exactly he is making that happen. Brady is 21, and he will be graduating from West Virginia University in December of 2020, about a year and a half from now. His family and mine have been friends for many years, and I've known Brady his whole life. But today I want to learn more about his journey to college and through college, in particular how he's doing that without taking out any student loans or any other debt, and how that's going to impact his plans after college. So Brady, first of all, thanks for agreeing to do this interview with me. In my financial coaching practice, I have many clients, most of my clients have piles of student loan debt, some of them in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it seems like nobody these days believes that you can actually get a college degree without student loans. So your story can be very informative and inspirational for people. So I'd first like to start briefly talking about where you come from, your upbringing, and give people a little bit of perspective on the challenges that you face that impacted your college decisions. So you were born and raised in Bridgeport, West Virginia. You have a brother and two sisters. Your dad was a civil engineer and your mom sold real estate. She still does. I think she started out part-time. But when you were 10 years old, your father passed away very suddenly. And his death was a huge shock to everybody, including my family, but obviously it created a lot of challenges for you and your mom and your siblings. Zach and Michaela were already in college then. Kelsey was in high school, but you were only 10 years old. So do you recall at what age you started having conversations with your mom or anybody about your college and how it might be paid for, what you might have to do to pay for it, that kind of thing?
My mom and I started talking about it in middle school, but it was more just a topic of, like the student fund is running out on Kelsey. It's like there's going to be none left for me. But we never talked about how, I would say until freshman or sophomore year of high school. And that's when I told my mom, like, Mom, I'm going to graduate college debt free. I was like, that's what I told her.
Yeah, what'd she say to that?
She didn't really say much to it. She more so thought probably was a little crazy, like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen. I have 3 other kids that graduated with student debt, and they're all pretty bright kids.
Yeah. So what was it that gave you that idea? Was there some kind of an aha moment?
So one of my sister's husbands, he actually graduated WVU debt free, and I was like, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Okay. So did he help you, or anybody else help you, teach you exactly what you had to do to make that happen?
Not a little bit, but not so much. Really, my siblings just focused on like putting in the work in high school was the big thing.
Okay, and so that you could get scholarships, that kind of thing. Okay. Did you work during high school to save money for college as well?
Just the summers.
Okay. What'd you do?
Lifeguarded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when then did you start applying for scholarships?
Junior year of high school.
Okay, and like how many different ones?
It was like 10 to 15.
10 to 15, like what, like private?
Majority, so the 10 to 15, I'd say a majority of them were private scholarships. Some of them were national. Majority of them were local ones. And like the national ones were when I was applying my junior year of high school, and then the regional ones were more so senior year.
Okay. Were there ones that were like specific to your situation, your family situation, anything like that? Or?
Yeah, there's a big one. It was like $20,000 for 4 years for students going to college whose one of their parents passed away.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was a big one that I applied for.
Yeah.
And then, but other than that, there were a couple other scholarships out there that were for similar situations, but I didn't apply for them.
Okay, but you got out of that 10 or 15, you got how many?
It was like, I think it was like 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So while you were in high school, did you take any college courses for credit? while you were in high school? How about like AP classes, things like that?
Yeah, I took a lot of AP classes and took all the tests. I didn't want to go through the misery of taking AP without taking the test.
Right, how many different ones did you?
It was 7 or 8 of them.
7 or 8 classes?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you took the test, what do you have to score, what, a 4?
Usually like a 3, it depends on majority, 3 is passing, but in most cases you have to have a higher, like a 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
To get
What'd
credit.
you get? Did you get all 4s and 5s?
A couple 3s, and then majority 4s and 5s.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so that allowed you to place out of some classes.
Yeah,
when you
a
got
lot
to
of the
school.
introductory classes.
Okay. What about SAT, ACT tests? Did you?
Took the ACT 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
just ACT, not SAT. I guess the trend is going more towards ACT.
Yeah.
So what would you score? What was your highest score?
High score is a 30.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Because the highest possible is 36?
36, yep.
Okay, so did your scores start much lower and go up?
Yeah, went 23, 25, 27, and then 30.
Did you take any like tutoring classes for the ACT test?
Yeah, I met with a private ACT tutor for the last time because I was really bad at English and reading. So I was like, those are my worst subjects, so I met with her mainly to focus on those, and also math, because I can get that up a couple more points. And then that's kind of what boosted. Actually, English went from my worst. I went from a 25 up to a 35.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow, that was an investment that was well worth it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So what different colleges did you consider or apply to, and why?
University of Pitt, Duquesne, Virginia Tech, and WVU. Pitt and Duquesne is both of them, or Pitt has a very good biomedical engineering program, or bioengineering. Duquesne, they had a biomedical engineering program. Virginia Tech as well, and I just know they have a great engineering program as a whole. And then WVU, cheaper, and they have an above average engineering program.
Okay, so why did you end up at WVU then?
Biggest thing with price.
Okay, what was the range of prices of those schools that you looked at?
So the 2 I came down to are Duquesne and WVU. Duquesne was $50,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and then WVU, in-state, I think it was around tuition $8,000 a year, but total with living and whatnot it was in between 15 and 20 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what a huge difference. Okay, so that was the main factor in choosing WVU, you think, was the price in the end?
Yes, and I had a girlfriend at the time who was still in high school, but I'd say majority is price.
Yeah. Okay. So did you know well ahead of time what you wanted to study when you got there?
Thought so.
You thought so, no?
Yeah.
Because you ended up changing majors,
Yeah.
sort of, not huge difference.
Yeah,
You stayed in engineering, right? What'd you start out in?
biomedical engineering.
And then changed to,
Changed to mechanical, and then I ended up changing to civil.
okay. So just still talking about, choosing your college, it occurred to me you come from a Christian family with a good, strong faith walk, and your two sisters and your brother, they all went to, 2 of them went to Grove City and one went to Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And here you're talking about WVU, which has a reputation as a huge party school.
Yeah.
So were you concerned, or was anybody in your family concerned that you're going to WVU and what might happen as a result?
Not necessarily, mainly just because of how big it is. There's 30,000 students, and yeah, obviously W is known for being a party school, but there's still so many other things to do and so many other things to be a part of that they weren't too worried.
So did you get involved in, campus ministries, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I was involved in high school, stuck with it in college, and ended up becoming a young life leader.
Okay. So, but you didn't have to completely separate yourself from, you didn't just hang out with the Christian kids, right?
Yeah, no. I'd say I wanted to separate myself from high school friends. I still hang out with a couple of them. But I'd say, yeah, hung out with a lot of Young Life people, but then also hung out with the people on my floor a lot in the dorm freshman year.
Okay.
And
But-
kind of kept with those friendships.
Yeah, but you didn't get sucked into the party scene or anything?
Nope. No, whenever they'd go out, I would just hang out in the dorm or hang out with other people. And if they were hanging out in the dorm and drinking a couple beers, I'd just sit there and hang out with them. Didn't mean I have to drink a beer, and they were perfectly okay with it and
They're
respected
still
it.
your friends. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's great. Okay. So once you were in college, so were you living on campus, off campus? How did that work?
Freshman year, I lived on campus. I lived in a dorm, and then sophomore through the rest of my time so far, I've been living in an apartment.
Okay, and that's because it's cheaper that way?
Yeah, a lot cheaper.
Okay, so meal plan, did you have a meal plan or?
I had a meal plan freshman year, and then the first semester of my sophomore year, and then I realized that I could do it cheaper by making my own food, packing lunches, and getting meal swipes from freshmen
Okay,
and other friends.
okay. So, and then how did you get around if you weren't on campus then? How did you get to and from classes and all?
So, after my freshman year, had a free parking pass, so I brought my car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad, but I live very close to campus, only like a 15-minute walk and a 5-minute bike ride.
Okay, so you
So-
did a lot of walking and biking as well?
Yeah.
Okay, but you had a car?
Yeah.
Okay. So you started in biomedical engineering, then mechanical, then civil engineering. How important was it to carefully plan out your classes by semester, beyond just the next semester, to make sure that you could get all the classes in that you needed to and graduate on time?
Yeah. It was pretty important since I switched into civil engineering not until the start of my sophomore year. I was a little bit worried, but I came in technically as a sophomore with all my AP credit. But I originally wanted to graduate in 3.5 years, and I was like, well, no, if I take it a little easier, I can graduate in 4 and be able to enjoy all 4 years. But it was like I had to kind of plan everything out, make sure that I'd be able to take this class then. I had flexibility, which was nice, but I still...
Because of placing out with some of the classes?
Yeah.
Okay. But you ended up taking a semester off,
Mm-hmm.
this last semester. So what led to that decision?
So I originally thought I wanted to graduate 3.5 years, had no relevant work experience. I worked 6 weeks of construction, but that was for a small residential general contractor, which is not the same as being this construction on
Office
$100 million
buildings.
jobs.
Right.
Yeah. So I was realizing that, and I was at a career fair this past year, back in like my junior year, and I was talking with the company I talked to in the past, and they offered me to take a co-op during my sophomore year, but I said no, and I talked to them again, and one of the guys I was talking to, I was like, I mean, I could graduate in 3.5 years and still be good. He's just like, so you're gonna graduate in 3.5 years and base what you want to do for the rest of your life off of 3 months of experience.
Good point.
And I was like, oh wow, that's an incredible point. So I was like, if I take that extra semester off, it's like taking 1 extra semester off, getting 4 months of work experience, which like, oh, do I want to do this or not, is a whole lot better than getting a full-time job. Like, I want to do this, and then just waste it. So a little change, like I can wait.
In the big picture, it's
Yeah.
really not much time, and it's affecting a major life decision for you.
Yeah, I can wait 7 months.
Plus, they were paying you too, right?
Yeah.
So, were you getting to the point where you were running out of money? Was the money a factor?
Money, it was definitely a little bit of a factor. I mean, we still have a little bit left in our 529, where I was probably going to end up using that's this past spring semester, because my mom, she helped out a little bit financially, more on the personal side, not so much with school. But it wasn't a huge factor.
Okay.
But it definitely was an added
It was
bonus.
coming down to the wire where you're going to need something, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you think of your total cost for college, tuition, room and board, even though it was off campus. But your total costs as a pie. And I tell people all the time, the biggest factor in college costs is the school that you chose. And you chose wisely. You know, Duquesne was a big pie and WVU was a little pie. So that helped a lot. But of that pie, about how much was covered by scholarships, grants, work, 529, that kind of thing?
Yeah. 85% covered by scholarships. And then 5% by grants, and then 10% 529 in personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the scholarships by far is the biggest thing. So
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
All that work in high school really paid off. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So besides like taking that one semester off, was there anything else you did that was really kind of a sacrifice to make sure that you could graduate debt-free? Things you missed out on or had to do that you didn't like, that kind of thing?
After my freshman year, I was working 2 jobs for about 6 weeks because I volunteered at a Young Life camp, so I wasn't going to get paid for July and August. So midway through May and all of June, I worked from 7:30 to 9, Monday through Friday.
7:30 in the morning to 9 at night.
Yeah. With an hour, with like hour and a half break total throughout the day.
Between 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Physical labor kind of jobs.
Yeah, construction and basically more demolition.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
hard work.
Yeah, I'd love to study abroad, but don't really have the money for that.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
had friends doing that?
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Did your friends make fun of the way you're going about this?
My roommates give me a hard time
Yeah.
for how frugal I am.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like I'm trying my best to not spend my money. I can spend my money on little luxuries of going out to eat all the time. But it's like, or I can make food
Yeah.
and save money there. Oh, having a beer, I could have a beer every night, or I could have a beer once a week.
Yeah. That's
Or
a big difference.
yeah, even going up to a bar. It's like if I go up to a bar to get a beer, it's like you're gonna have one beer because it'll rack up easy.
Mhm. But those friends are going to be graduating with a pile of debt too, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get the last laugh, aren't you?
Yeah.
So okay. So what are you going to do after graduation? Do you know yet?
Right now, looking most towards the construction project management,
Okay.
or maybe the design side of civil engineering.
Okay. I mean, you thinking about going back to this company that you're working for temporarily here, or?
Possibly. The one I'm working with now currently, I could see it. Work, family life ratio is extremely important to me. So that's going to be important. I know right on this job they have a good balance. And whereas working last semester, not so much. I worked 50 hours a week as an intern, which
Wow.
was great. I got paid overtime, so I wasn't complaining much. But starting out 50 hours a week.
So the full-time employees are probably working even harder.
Yeah. Project managers working 60 hours a week.
Yeah. Which and that is sometimes necessary, but
Yeah.
that's hard to keep up long term. So.
Yeah.
But you're going to have your choice to go just about anywhere you think you're going to leave Morgantown. Or,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
For the time being, want to go out and explore.
Yeah. So what are you excited about doing when you're out and you have a good income and you have no debt? What do you want to do?
Going exploring, going on trips, going skiing. I'd love to go to Europe. I'd love to go to the Swiss Alps. I'd love to just go all over and enjoy it. I love being outdoors. So like all seasons, hiking, mountain biking, skiing.
Get that world pass thing for skiing. Go skiing all over the world.
Yeah.
So, well, what about maybe 5-10 years from now? How do you see yourself?
Oh, 5 years, hopefully married. I'd say, I don't know where I'd be in 5 years. I'd say probably the East Coast, probably within a 6-hour radius of Morgantown.
Close enough to see family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe not kids. I want to enjoy married life for a few years. 10 years out, probably have kids of that picture. I'd say professionally, depends on the company I'm working with. Maybe still a project engineer. Maybe at that point, be a project manager. Depends on the company.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sounds great. The world's your oyster.
Yeah.
So, just to wrap up, if you could speak directly to the high school kids and their parents who might end up watching this video, what's the one thing that you would tell them? What's the most important thing?
The more I think about it, I'm gonna say the college you pick.
Okay.
Because in college you can make it whatever you want it to be. I could have gone to WVU and gone out every single weekend, and I have friends that do that and they love it. Or I could go and hang out with those people, but maybe not live that lifestyle. It's like, but at the same time, I'm still able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So picking an affordable college, because at the end of the day, you get to make it what you want it to be.
Right.
But you yourself have to put forth the effort.
Right, and the
in doing
employers really don't care
Mm-mm.
where you went to school as long as you got the degree.
Yeah, my brother-in-law who went for free, he told me, he's like, what's going to be better, being number 1 at WVU in your class, or being, say, number 30th at Stanford? What's going to stick out? Number 1 at WVU.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and even then, I would say nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what about high school kids? What should they be thinking about now if they want to follow in your footsteps? What should, besides what school to go to, what's the most important thing?
Put in the work now. Take high school seriously. Focus very hard on GPA, your ACT or SAT. Don't be afraid to take a class. It's worth it.
Take the test
multiple
as many times as it takes.
Yeah. I know people who took it 3 months, right before, like 2 months before going to college, just to get a scholarship they needed. And then don't be afraid to apply for as many scholarships as possible,
Yeah.
Especially the private ones.
Yeah.
We've got one that's $2,500 a year. And
Even the little ones count. They all add up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Well, I'm so proud of you. You've done such a great job. And just your experience is going to be so helpful to so many people. So I really want to thank you again for doing this for me.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Brady.
Yeah.